All right, today we're going to dive into something that's, well, it's personal, and it can be pretty painful. The experience of being rejected over and over again. It's a tough thing to deal with, and we're going to break down the psychology of why it can hurt so much and how our own minds can spin that pain into a whole story about who we are.
At the very center of all this is a really tough gut punch of a question. You know the one. It's that voice that pops up after a date goes silent, or you get another automated rejection email for a job. Does being turned down again and again mean you are, deep down, low value? That's the core idea we're going to unpack together.
Now, let's be really clear about something. The goal here isn't to hit you with a bunch of cheesy motivational quotes or easy advice. The pain you feel from rejection, that's 100% real. What we're going to do instead is look at the internal logic, the step-by-step process in your brain that leads you to even ask that question in the first place.
So where does this all start? It starts right inside your own head. It begins with this little bit of mental math, a connection our brain makes that links two totally different things: what happens to us on the outside and what we decide it means about us on the inside.
We can actually give this a name: the desirability equation. It's basically this unconscious process where our brain starts to think that how much other people want us, our external desirability, is the same thing as our internal personal value. And when rejection keeps happening, our mind just runs this equation on autopilot. It becomes a reflex.
And this is the moment where our mind makes this huge, critical leap. See, on one hand, you've got what actually happened, an external experience. Someone didn't pick you. That's it. But on the other hand, you have how your mind interprets it as a final verdict on your worth as a person. That desirability equation, it's the bridge the mind builds to get from A to B.
So, and this is so important, when your brain runs this equation again and again, it doesn't just stay a fleeting thought. Nope. It starts to grow, it gets stronger, it turns into a core story you tell yourself about who you are. And pretty soon, you've got a full-blown narrative of inferiority.
You can kind of see how it builds up, right? First, you experience the rejection. Then, your brain automatically applies that equation. That might create a quick, fleeting thought, like, maybe I'm not good enough. But then, it happens again and again, and that little belief gets stronger each time, until it hardens into this fixed, solid narrative. I am not good enough, period. And this, right here, is the most powerful psychological trick in the whole process. That internal story, which started out as a subjective feeling, I feel inadequate, slowly morphs until it feels like an objective, undeniable fact about you. The line between I feel worthless and I am worthless just completely disappears. So that brings us to the real